She looked him dead in the eyes, smiled, and said something that sounded completely normal. But that night, he couldn't sleep. Not because he was overthinking, because deep down, his gut already knew. I'm a female psychologist. And what I'm about to break down today, most men will never hear this from anyone in their life. Because nobody teaches men how to listen, really listen to what a woman is actually telling them. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to look back at past relationships and finally say, oh, that's what was happening. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Words don't always mean what they sound like. And in relationships, the most dangerous sentences are the ones that sound totally fine on the surface. Today, I'm giving you 5 sentences, real sentences that women say. And if you hear any of them, psychology says don't negotiate, don't wait, walk. Not because she's a bad person, but because staying will cost you something you can't get back. Let's get into it. I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. Bro, I need you to hear this differently. Most guys hear that and think, okay, I'll just be patient. I'll show her I'm different. That is the trap. What she's actually communicating from a pure psychological standpoint is this. I want the emotional benefits of a relationship without the responsibility of one. And the moment you stay after hearing that, you silently agreed to be emotionally alien while she stays emotionally free. Research on attachment theory is clear on this. Prolonged uncertainty doesn't build connection, it builds anxiety. You start reading into every text, every scene but not replied, every mood shift. Your nervous system is in constant low-level panic and you call that love. But it's not love, it's waiting. Strong men don't wait for a seat at a table that was never set for them. If this is already hitting different, smash that subscribe button right now because I drop this kind of raw psychological truth every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. All right, back to it. I'm a really complicated person. Men hear complicated and think depth, mystery, interesting. That's your brain confusing complexity with attraction. Here's the psychological reality. Emotionally healthy people don't introduce themselves with their dysfunction. They work on it. They own it. They grow through it. When someone leads with, I'm complicated, what they're really saying is, I haven't processed my patterns yet, and I need you to pre-accept the chaos. That's not depth. That's a warning label. And the men who ignore warning labels, they don't get a relationship. They get a project and projects don't love you back. You're honestly too good for me. Sounds like a compliment, right? Almost sweet. It's not. Psychologically, this is called a distancing maneuver. She's putting you above her, so she never has. To meet you where you are. It's a pre-written excuse for every future disappointment. When she pulls back, when she's inconsistent, when she ghosts, the story's already been set. I told you, I warned you. And here's what's wild. Men who hear this often develop a savior complex. They think, my love will be enough to change how she sees herself. Bro, attraction doesn't grow from rescue missions. It grows from mutual respect and equal energy. You cannot love someone into believing they deserve you. All of my exes were toxic. Now, I'm not defending toxic exes. Bad people exist. That's real. But here's what psychology says about patterns. When every single past relationship was someone else's fault, that's not bad luck. That's a missing piece called self-reflection. Growth requires ownership, not just of the pain, but of the patterns. If she can't ask herself, what role did I play? She can't grow past it. And if she can't grow past it, you don't become her. Partner, you become her next story. Yo, if this video is making you think about someone specific right now, you're not alone. Drop their initials in the comments. Just the initials and hit subscribe because the next part, this is where most men finally connect all the dots. I don't really like labels. This one right here. Men accept this because they don't want to seem controlling or needy, so they play it cool. They stay chill. But wanting definition is not controlling. It's called being intentional. Here's what's happening neurologically when you live in undefined territory. Your brain treats ambiguity the same way it treats a threat. You're never fully relaxed, never fully secure. You're giving partner-level energy for situationship-level commitment. And that imbalance, it drains you slowly, silently, until one day you wake up exhausted. And you don't even know why. Here's what nobody tells men, and I'm saying this as a psychologist and as a woman. Walking away is not failure. It's fluency. It means you understood what was being communicated and you responded accordingly. The strongest men aren't the ones who stayed the longest. They're the ones who left the moment self-respect started quietly leaving first. Because here's what happens when you stay too long in misalignment. You get patient, then careful, then quiet. You stop expressing needs, stop setting limits. You start editing yourself to keep the peace. And the moment you start shrinking to fit someone else, attraction dies. Not because you're boring, but because you're no longer whole. Women don't fall for men who abandon themselves, not because they're cruel, but because emotional stability is magnetic, and you can't be stable when you're constantly destabilized. So, here's how I want you to flip this. Those 5 sentences aren't red flags, they're exit signs, offered early before the damage stacks up. When she says she's not ready, believe her and choose. A woman who is. When she says she's complicated, wish her peace and choose clarity. When she says you're too good, don't argue. Choose reciprocity. When she blames every ex, don't investigate. Choose accountability. When she avoids labels, don't linger. Choose direction. That's not cold. That's not mean. That is maturity. The real question isn't why did she say that? The real question is what did you do after she said it? Because every time you walk away from what doesn't align, you raise your own standard, not just for her, but for you. So, I want you to answer this honestly in the comments right now. Which of these 5 sentences have you heard? And what did staying cost you? Write it out. Name it. Because awareness is exactly where old patterns break. If this video put words to something you've been feeling but couldn't say, like it, subscribe. I drop psychological truth like this every week. No fluff, no noise. And share this with a guy who's strong, loyal, and quietly stuck. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for someone is just show them they're not crazy for feeling it. I'll see you in the next